This episode is about transparency. It's about polarity, and it's about stop trying to make everybody like you.
All right, let's get real. MLM's an awesome opportunity to grow an asset, but what's with all these old school tactics still being taught? If you're like me, you want modern methods to scale and automate your business. Let's put the marketing back into network marketing and stop using hope as a business strategy. Welcome to Not Your Mom's MLM Radio.
Hey, what's going on? All right, so today I want to talk about the in crowd, the cool kids, the popular crew, and how you got to stop being so damn polite and start getting real. Do you know what that's from? Probably quoting the MTV. I'm dating myself now, but the Real World MTV. Stop getting polite, start getting real. I'm pretty sure that's what it was, right? So, but seriously, there's real truth to that, and I really want to dive into that. And what brought the inspiration for this episode, and I don't see this being a really long episode, but late in very recent weeks prior, very recent, there have been two very famous, air quotes there, but in all seriousness, like famous in the sense of big influencers. One in the health, self-help space, and another one in the fitness space. And they're getting crucified right now because they're getting crucified and they're losing trust because their audience feels duped. They feel like they've been lied to. So the one influencer in the space, she had been posting weeks and months prior to this recent announcement that life was great, rainbows, sunshine, butterflies, everything was great in the home. And now all of a sudden, she smacks her audience with, just kidding, I'm getting a divorce. And I have mixed feelings on this personally. I seriously hate to see anybody suffer. I have gone through divorce myself. It is awful, especially when there's children involved. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody. And I know the pain that goes in with that. And I also know that social media tends to be this highlight reel of all the good things. But it's so important to be very transparent as best you can. Now, there's certain things, privacy is privacy, I get it. But when you do step into a platform where you have a voice and you have an audience, you need to own that. With what is the Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man from way back when? Maybe it's in all the Spider-Mans, I don't know, but it said, the quote was, with great power comes great responsibility. Well, that's true. When you have responsibility and you're a leader and you're leading people and you're teaching people, especially if you're teaching people in the space of relationships and you're not being completely transparent and open about what's going on with yours, yeah, yikes. I mean, you got to understand why certain people are now turning their back on you, and you got to understand why people feel like their trust is broken. And I feel so sad for this person and the two influential people that are getting all this backlash. I do feel sorry for them, but I also kind of get it. And so this episode is about transparency. It's about polarity, and it's about stop trying to make everybody like you. Okay. We've talked about this in previous episodes, but I don't rub everybody the right way. I am in my 30s. I'm a female. I'm a single mother. So I'm probably not going to be that attractive to somebody who is, has a family of 5 kids, who doesn't relate to my life at all. I will say I had a family before I was divorced. I hopefully intend to have a family one day, but my point in saying all this is, you're not going to relate to everybody. You got to stop being so vanilla. See the other prior episode on that, and that'll help you a lot with that. But you have to be okay with being your unique self and speaking on the things and the topics and the issues that actually matter to you, and also being vulnerable. Vulnerability is a superpower, and I'm still working at it because it is hard. I'm not going to say it's easy. It's hard to be vulnerable. You open yourself up for criticism and rejection and all that stuff and the haters, but it is the quickest and best way that you can attract that true tribe that has your back, people that you maybe will never meet in your life. Maybe they work with you in business, maybe they're in your MLM, and you might never actually meet them face to face, but they feel like family. They feel like they have your back, that they would take a bullet for you, that they are your biggest cheerleader. All right. And the only way you can do that is by stop worrying about making people like you, and stop being polite, and stop being politically correct sometimes, and just being your vulnerable, authentic self. I want to give you a really good example here. Howard Stern, whether you like, I don't really like, I don't know how I feel about him. I'm not gonna say I don't like him. He's a really not likable guy though. And the truth and the proof is in the numbers. So Howard Stern, just a little funny fact here. There are more people, I'm talking about the people who listen to him. He's one of the best interviewers of all time. The people that listen to him, more of his audience, those people hate him than like him. I'm going to say that again. The people that listen to Howard Stern hate him. The majority of those people hate him, as opposed to the very few that actually love him or like him. That is an amazing example of polarity. He is being himself. He doesn't care if you like him or hate him. He knows that the same amount of people that are going to love him and the ones that are going to hate him, they're still both going to listen. How many times do you, I want to seriously think about this. Do you turn on a show or listen to a song on the radio, or you listen to a podcaster or whatever? You actually can't stand the person you're listening to or watching, but you can't pull your eyes away. He nailed it. Okay. He got that. He understands that it's just as important to attract as it is to repel. The funny thing is though, when you really are 150% yourself, the people that you really should repel sometimes can't help but like love, hate you. And they're going to tune into your stuff. All right. The other thing with what I want to share with you today is taking people on the journey. And this goes back to the two influencers that are struggling right now. You got to and this is what this podcast is doing, right? I'm taking you through the journey. I just recorded like 2 or 3 videos for my Rebels of MLM, my training site for my team, my downline, everything I've been telling you on this podcast that I give to my team, creating a whole new space, a whole membership area for them. It's going to be so great. I'm so excited about it. But I am telling you that, right? I know that 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, we're going to go back and listen to this episode and I'll be like, see, I told you when I was doing that. I wasn't making it up. I wasn't an overnight success. People hate that shit. Okay. I don't like it. And I also know what I'm going to rephrase. I hate when people act or imply that it just was an overnight success. I know that sometimes you can make a great ad and have tremendous success in what seems like overnight, but the years building up to you figuring out marketing and learning and testing, and you have to take that into consideration. So it's so, so, so important to take people through your journey as much as you might not want to, but that's your ego talking. Okay. Your ego is not your amigo, my friend. It has to go. You got to check that, leave that at the door. Be open, be vulnerable, be authentic, and take people on that journey because they so appreciate that. And seriously, give me your feedback. I want to make sure that, I'm not just saying what I'm saying. I want to hear from you. I want you to validate what I already know and believe is true. Being honest is very, very, very important. What else? I'm looking at I want to make sure I cover a couple things on this episode. Okay, I have a great example for you that's along the lines of this. So I did a post that went mildly viral, not like viral, like 110,000 people, but it was really successful. And I don't remember when I did, it was on Facebook. I should have pulled it up. But in that post, it was a picture of me like, yeah, with I think it was my fist in the air. I was like cheering for myself, like, yeah. And it was basically a post about my failure or missing my target, missing my mark. And in that post, I said something like, hey friends, guess what I did? I set this crazy, audacious, loud, big, huge goal and I didn't hit it. And then I went on to say, I missed it, but instead of being sad and beating myself up or being hard on myself, what did happen was I did this, 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 and this, and this. And I was closer to that big, hairy, the BHAG is what I call it, big, hairy, audacious goal. I was that much closer to that because I set that goal and it didn't matter that I missed it. People loved that I opened up and said, as a leader in the space, and they opened, and I'm saying, hey, I set that goal and I didn't get it. I didn't hit my goal. That was equally as powerful, probably more so powerful than if I said, guess what? I set a great goal and I crushed it. Boring. You've seen that on social media, people faking it till you make it and sharing all these things, and it gets overrated sometimes. And then and the times that I share my struggles of being a single parent and the times I share goals that I've missed and the times, so if I'm not, I almost said the influencer's name. Got to be careful. Cause I don't want to do that. If I were her and I was sharing not just the rainbows and sunshine and happy, great, amazing times to make my life and my audience think my life was perfect and amazing and great. If I shared the truth that, geez, this quarantine, man, it's really straining my relationship. It's really difficult. Then it would not have felt like such a duped situation. It would not have felt. And for me, right? If I was saying, my MLM is great and I'm making all this money and I'm doing so well, my team's duplicating like crazy. If those things were not happening and then all of a sudden I stopped sharing anything about MLM, come to find out, I quit. Why? Because I failed. Why? Because everything I told you was going on actually wasn't going on. You see what I'm saying? You have to, it's not faking it till you make it. It's faith till you make it. It's implementing the things and teaching people and sharing what you know as you learn it and taking people through that journey. I cannot emphasize and stress this enough. It is something that took me a long time, like years to learn. And I want to shave that time for you. I want you to learn that it's okay to not be okay and it's okay to share that. Okay. I'm not telling you or suggesting that you go on social media and you start bitching and moaning and complaining and saying that like, woe is me, life is hard, wow, wow, wow. No, you take a struggle and you turn it into an inspiration for somebody else. That's really powerful. And sometimes your posts aren't going to inspire. They're just going to be raw and vulnerable. And there's power in that. And you just have to be careful with how you share it so that it doesn't come off like you're complaining, but that you're trying to relate to people that might be in the same boat as you. Very, very powerful. Okay. And I wrote down too, the journey is so important. And if you miss this very crucial and important step, then you are missing a massive audience that could be yours. I'm going to say that again. If you are missing the part of sharing your journey, then you are missing a massive audience that could be yours. That is when you gain trust, my friend. That's when you gain likability and credibility because of the fact that you're open, honest, and trustworthy because of your honesty. So I hope that was helpful. I really, really want you to think about this one and start to think about, are you only sharing all the good? Are you sharing, the funnels that are going great? Are you sharing how many people are applying to join your team? Are you sharing, oh my gosh, my social media strategy is crushing it and it's doing XYZ when it might not be doing any of that? Are you also sharing any of the setbacks, any of the roadblocks, any of the forks in the road? If you're not, you really got to consider that. You really got to think about that. And if you're working on a new project, like I'm doing right now, I just told you I shot some videos for this membership training site. I'm fired up about it. If you're not sharing that, the behind the scenes magic is what gets people inspired and curious to reach out to you. And is that not what we're trying to do here? Yes, we are, right? We're trying to attract the ideal avatar, that perfect person who you want to be best friends with and run a business with and travel the world with. They're not going to get to know the real you if you don't share the good, the bad, and the ugly, and you don't do it in a way that's consistent and authentic. So this is where stories are really powerful. Instagram or Facebook stories are so powerful. Take people behind the scenes in your life. Share all of it. Because if you really, really want to make massive impact, then you have to be willing to be incredibly open, very honest, very vulnerable, and share every little bit about you, including your knowledge and including your setbacks.
Hey, thanks for listening. Please remember to subscribe and leave feedback. Would you like a copy of the book that changed everything in my network marketing business? If so, you can grab a free copy of Network Marketing Secrets at notyourmomsmlm.com/book.